The shatter echoed through the living room like a gunshot, splintering the cheerful hum of Christmas carols and the scent of pine needles into sharp, jagged fragments. I froze, mug of eggnog halfway to my lips, as my niece's tiny hands recoiled from the antique snow globe she'd just hurled across the floor. Shards of glass sparkled under the twinkling tree lights, mingling with the fake snow that now dusted the carpet like fallout from a ruined dream. "Total accident. Your kid started it," my sister Lila snapped, her voice slicing through the air, eyes darting to my son, who stood wide-eyed and innocent beside her daughter. But it wasn't the broken heirloom that gutted me. It was a small, velvet pouch that tumbled out from its hidden compartment, spilling a delicate gold necklace onto the rug, a necklace I didn't recognize, engraved with words that would unravel my world. My heart slammed against my ribs, a frantic rhythm drowning out the kid's whimpers. The room felt smaller, the walls closing in with a weight of forced holiday cheer. Garland draped the mantel like festive chains, and the fire crackled mockingly, casting flickering shadows that danced over my husband Tom's face. He went rigid, his usual easy smile faltering into something brittle, like ice cracking underfoot. "It's nothing," he muttered, lunging forward to scoop up the pouch, but I was faster, my fingers brushing the cool metal chain. The engraving read, "Forever yours, in secret, A." My stomach twisted, a nauseous wave crashing over me. Who was A? And why was this tucked inside the snow globe my grandmother had given us as a wedding gift, a symbol of our eternal winter wonderland, as Tom had joked back then? I forced a laugh, brittle and unconvincing, shoving the necklace into my pocket as the kids burst into tears. Hey, no big deal, right? Accidents happen. But inside, doubt festered like an open wound. Lila hovered nearby, her perfume, something floral and cloying, wafting over me as she knelt to console her daughter. "See? Auntie isn't mad," she cooed, but her glance at Tom lingered a beat too long, a subtle flicker that I'd dismissed 100 times before. Was it my imagination, or did his shoulders tense under her gaze? The morning had started so normally, the rustle of wrapping paper, the sizzle of bacon in the kitchen, the soft glow of dawn filtering through frost-laced windows. Yet now, every detail sharpened into suspicion. As we cleaned up the mess, my mind raced through the past months like rewinding a film reel, frame by frame. Tom's late nights at the office, claiming year-end crunch even though his job in accounting had never demanded overtime before. The way his phone buzzed incessantly, screen angled away from me during dinner, dismissed with casual just work stuff. I'd rationalized it all. Our marriage was solid, wasn't it? 10 years, a house in the suburbs, our son Jamie bounding with energy. But guilt gnawed at me too. I'd been distant lately, buried in my freelance writing gigs, snapping at him over small things. Maybe I deserved this creeping unease. "You okay?" Lila asked, her hand on my arm, nails painted a festive red that suddenly looked like blood. Her touch felt electric, charged with unspoken secrets. She'd always been the bolder sister, the one who chased thrills while I built stability. But lately, her visits felt invasive, her laughter with Tom too familiar. We moved to the kitchen, the aroma of cinnamon rolls masking the metallic tang of my rising panic. Tom busied himself with coffee, his back to me, shoulders hunched like a man carrying an invisible burden. "That globe was old anyway," he said over his shoulder, voice steady but forced. "We'll get a new one." I nodded, but my thoughts screamed otherwise. Why hide a necklace? And that initial, it could be anyone. Amanda from his office? Always. No, I shoved the thought away. Denial wrapped around me like a warm blanket, but it was fraying at the edges. Jamie and little Emma, my niece, scampered back to their toys, oblivious to the storm brewing. Their giggles clashed with attention, a soundtrack to my unraveling composure. Lunch dragged on, the turkey dry in my mouth, every bite a chore. Lila chatted about her latest job hunt, her words flowing like syrup, but her eyes kept straying to Tom. "Remember that ski trip last winter?" she said suddenly, fork poised midair. "You two were so cute, all bundled up." Tom chuckled, but it sounded hollow, echoing in my ears like a confession. That trip? He'd insisted on going alone with the guys, but photos on social media showed Lila tagging along unexpectedly. I'd laughed it off then, chalking it up to sibling bonding. Now, the memory curdled. My hand trembled as I poured wine, the ruby liquid slushing over the rim. Oops, I murmured, but inside, anger simmered, a slow boil of betrayal bubbling up. Afternoon brought a fragile calm. The kids napped upstairs, their soft breaths filtering down like a lullaby. Tom suggested a walk in the snow-dusted yard, but I declined, feigning a headache. Alone in our bedroom, I pulled out the necklace, tracing the engraving with my thumb. The metal was warm from my pocket, almost alive. Fear gripped me. What if this was innocent? A gift for me he'd forgotten? But the hidden compartment screamed otherwise. I paced the room, floorboards creaking underfoot, mirroring the cracks in my trust. Love and rage warred within. Love for the man who'd held me through miscarriages and job losses. Rage at the possibility he'd shattered us for. What? Excitement? Escape? Downstairs, voices murmured. I crept to the landing, heart pounding like a drum in my chest. Can't keep this up, Tom whispered, his tone urgent. Lila's reply was soft, laced with something intimate. She suspects nothing. Just be careful. My world tilted, breath catching in my throat. Suspicion hardened into certainty, but I needed proof. Back in the kitchen, I rifled through Tom's coat pockets while they thought I was resting. Nothing. Then, his phone on the counter buzzed. A text from Aunt Lila. But wait, that was her contact? No, we'd always use her real name. The message preview. Missed you last night. Can't wait for more secrets. Nausea hit like a wave, but I swallowed it down. Confrontation brewed as evening fell, shadows lengthening across the snow outside. Dinner was tense, silverware clinking like accusations. Everything all right? Tom asked, his eyes searching mine with faint concern. I nodded, words lodged in my throat. Lila avoided my gaze, picking at her food. The kid's energy had waned, sensing the undercurrent. Finally, as we cleared plates, I couldn't hold it. What's this? I said, dangling the necklace like evidence in a trial. Tom's face drained of color, a mask crumbling. It's for you, a surprise. But Lila's sharp intake of breath betrayed them. Don't lie. She hissed at him, then turned to me, eyes glistening. It was a mistake. One night, after too much wine, your kid, Jamie, was at Mom's, and it just happened. Her words hung heavy, the air thick with guilt. But wait, my sister, with my husband, the betrayal sliced deeper than infidelity. It was familial treason, a double wound. Anger exploded, raw and unfiltered. How long? I demanded, voice breaking. Tom slumped, confessing months of stolen moments, rationalizing it as escaping routine. Lila wept, claiming loneliness after her divorce, but her excuses rang hollow, moral grayness masking selfishness. I felt shattered, trust pulverized like that snow globe. Yet amid the heartbreak, confusion swirled. Had I ignored signs to preserve our facade? Guilt mingled with fury. I trusted them both blindly. The twist came as police lights flashed outside, sirens piercing the night. Earlier, in my haze, I'd called them, not for assault, but because they wasn't Lila. No, the texts were from Amanda, Tom's co-worker. Lila's whisper, about covering for him, her own complicity in the lie to protect our family. But in her panic, she'd assumed I knew about her one-time fling years ago, with Tom's brother. The necklace? A pawn shop find Tom hid for resale, engraved by coincidence. No, wait, that was his lie. Digging deeper, phone records revealed the truth. Lila and Tom had conspired not in affair, but in embezzling from my inheritance, the necklace a laundered gift for their escape plan. Betrayal wasn't lust. It was greed, familial bonds twisted into theft. I stood amid the chaos, cups hauling them away, snow falling like silent judgment. Heartbreak lingered, but so did a twisted relief. Trust rebuilt? Impossible. But in the ruins, I found strength, raw, unyielding, to start anew, alone but unbroken.